In today's video, I am going to walk you through my Lego storage setup, and I am going to give you a brief overview of my parts collection, so let's go. So starting with the Akro Mills drawers, this is something you will see in a lot of Lego builders' rooms just because they're really space efficient and fairly cost effective. I like to organize mine a little bit so that the pieces are grouped together, but not so grouped that I can't sort of look around and see new connections. So the way I've set mine up is this top left one is mostly landscaping. You can see I've got all my different foliage elements and leaves, and then a couple random things in there as well, which I need to go back and reorganize these. But you can see I've also got a lot of my slopes, which I use for my rock work. This one on the top right is a mixed bag of mostly detail pieces and some just kind of random things like 1x5 plates or some 2x2 tiles. I've got some wagon wheels from the pick-a brick wall. And then just some random things like containers and slopes and fence pieces, things like that. And then these bottom two are more some of my basic pieces. You can see that the bottom three rows are really just basic like 1x1 plates and 1x1 tiles, things like that. I've got some modified tiles, I've got 1x2 tiles, and then it goes all the way down to 1x3s, and carrying all the way over here, you can see I've got like 2x8 plates, 2x6s, 1x4 tiles, got all my 2x4 plates. And one thing you'll notice is that I have everything in bags with inside the bins, and that helps me save on space and just keep things grouped and organized without having just a ton of drawers for every single part variety. It really makes it a lot easier. And then I've also got just some things like bulk pieces from the pick-a-brick wall and things that I use often and just want to keep close at hand. One of the things I like to try to do periodically is go back and rearrange the drawers just so that I have new parts that I level periodically, and it just makes it a little bit more fun when you're going through the building process. But I will recommend too, one tip is I really try not to use the dividers in these just because it's really easy to forget what's in the back. And so that's one of the things I'm trying to get away from is, just filling these up as best I can. So I love these Akro Mills drawers. They've got a couple different varieties. You can see these are the 44 drawer ones. Super helpful. Sometimes they go on sale on Amazon. So next, let's take a look at the white drawer unit. This is one of my favorite storage solutions, so let's take a closer look. So this white drawer unit is one of my favorite storage solutions. It is not the IKEA Alex drawer. I will link it down below in the description. I got this off Amazon. It's a little bit cheaper, but I really enjoy having these open trays in there because I can put all my detail pieces and just see everything all at once. And this is a really fun one just because I try to keep the pieces in here somewhat varied and random so that I try to think of new and different connections and usages for each of them. One of my favorite new pieces that I've yet to actually use though is these modified 2x3 or 2/3 plates with the open studs. In this second one, again, more detail pieces. This one's a little bit more basic. You've got some colored ingots, you've got some 1x2 rounded plates, as well as all of my different grill pieces. And then some of my recently purchased light Nougat pieces have also snuck in here. But again, it's really nice just keeping all the detail stuff right in front of you. This is also where I keep my flex tube, which has been really fun to work with lately. Down here, this is my connection drawer, you can see. This is where I have all my different like hinges and clips and things. So that way, if I'm trying to attach something or create a certain angle, especially when I'm working on roofs, it's really nice just having all the different connection pieces right in front of me. And then moving down here, this is my curved slope drawer. This is what I use a lot for awnings and just different little detail elements. One of my favorite pieces is this new large sand green slope that actually came in the typewriter set. I'm not sure what I'll use them for, but it's really fun. Nice thing with these drawers too, you can see there's just a little bit of room and kind of gaps in between. So if you have oversized parts like these large slopes, it's nice to just be able to fit them in there. I have this somewhat color coded, but again, I try to keep things varied just so my brain looks at new and different connections and color combinations. Really makes it a lot easier. Down here is my window drawer. You can see it's a little messy and chaotic. I love using these windows. I like certain colors more than others probably. Like I've got these really cool old tan ones that have the shutter attachments, and then I've got some sand blue curved windows. And I just try to keep, enough on hand so that I'm never running too low, but I also don't want to have such an oversupply. Now this is where things get pretty random because as you can see, there's a small assortment of brackets as well as some like curved and angled plates, and then little things like panels. So again, this is one of those drawers that's just kind of a catch-all for some random stuff, but now that my brain's gotten used to it, it's a little easier. And then this is sort of my throwaway landscaping drawer. You can see it's totally messy, and honestly, I forget to use it a lot. So I really need to spend more time with this drawer because there's some really cool pieces like these white sort of dinosaur element pieces. I think would be really fun for some detailing. And then I even forgot a while ago I bought these minifigure little flower heads, and then I stuck a 1x1 in there, and now I can't get it out. So that's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. So anyways, though, I love having this white drawer unit. I wish I had space to just have nothing but these for all my storage because, again, it's really nice just to have stuff easily accessible at eye level that you can just grab. So now moving from the white drawer unit, let's take a look at all of these flat top boxes, which eventually are going to get redone as we redo the Lego room, but let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside of them. So this is one of my favorite drawers. As you can see, it's all color coded between light nougat, and bright light yellow. And I wanted to keep these all together because they all came in the same haul and they're just really beautiful colors. So it's been really fun just to have them at hand, especially when I was working on the hill section and I used some of these colors. It's really nice, again, just to have them all close together. So here's my modified brick bin. This is really fun to work with, especially when I'm doing detailing on buildings, just because you've got some really great colors in here. You've got the sand green, you've got the dark orange, medium nougat, tan. So when I'm doing coining on a building or just, again, any kind of detailing, it's really helpful. I also have been using a lot of these lately with some of the palm trees and some of the landscaping builds. So really, really love having all my SNOT bricks in one bin. Now, one of the issues I've been running into lately is I'm starting to run out of room, which is why you see in these two kind of detail and landscaping and tile-oriented bins, there's just a whole mishmash of different parts, but it is kind of fun to see them all together. But eventually I need to go through and, again, reorganize on my storage and kind of keep everything a little bit more organized. But this is a really fun drawer. Some of my favorite pieces are these tiles from Rivendell, also the unprinted white pirate hat, as well as the fork, which is what I used in my balcony build on my Nougat building. And then also it's just really satisfying to see all the jumpers together, and even just some of these different colors, like these Nougat modified tiles are really cool. So it's one of my favorite, more recent bins. Now, if I had to pick two favorite bins, it would probably be these two, because these are a bunch of my detail pieces and they're super fun, and I like having them color coded with the black and white and a little bit of the gray. And then this one here on the left, you can see is a little bit more random. We've got some things like, you know, blank minifigure heads, as well as these retro umbrella pieces, and then even things like light poles and, you know, dark orange little goblets, just little pieces that are fun to use and fun to throw details in. I really like these fur collars for detailing. So nice to see everything together. And I honestly think, though, that this one is probably my favorite because it has some of my favorite pieces in it. Another fun one that I've been using a lot lately is this bin, because it's got the 1x2 plates with the slide or the rail on it, as well as some modified slopes, and then these really cool clamshell pieces that I've used a few times in the city, but I'd like to find more ways to use. Then I've also got these really cool slope pieces. I'm not exactly sure, you know, how I'm going to use them, but sometimes it's nice to just have those types of detail pieces on hand, so when the opportunity arises, you're ready. Another fun one are these two, and I really like having all my different plates and tiles when it's, you know, medium nougat or dark orange or light bluish gray all together, because when I'm doing texturing on walls or I'm doing texturing on a, you know, cobblestone sidewalk, it's really nice to have all the pieces just right there at hand, and honestly, the colors just look really good together. All right, so two of my favorite drawers, landscaping. You guys know I love to do landscaping builds. I love having them all in one go. Some of my favorite pieces is this new fern piece, as well as this tan eggshell piece you guys saw in my palm trees. I also have a bunch of these olive green sort of vine pieces, which are really fun. And another one that I've really been wanting to use are the sand green limb elements. I'm just not sure, you know, on what, but I really love having all my landscaping pieces in one go. It is just super nice. So here's my modified tile drawer. There are some really fun pieces in here. Probably the most fun are these gold pentagonal shields. I have no idea how I will use them. Eventually I'd like to do some interiors, and so I want to use a lot of these different pieces for flooring detail. You know, you guys know I love dark orange and sand green, so there's just some really fun colors. And then I've also got these new medium nougat 1x4 curved tiles, as well as I have them in tan. And then I have 1x3 tiles in medium nougat and tan. Oddly expensive, but again, one of my favorite pieces, just because it's been really fun to do some different detailing. And you guys saw in my first hill section city update, I used these pieces on the mosaic on the floor, and I think it turned out really nicely. This is another great bin that I love to use a lot. You guys know I use masonry bricks in a lot of my builds, so I love having them all together. Some of my favorite colors are the dark red, the dark orange, if I can grab them, as well as sand green, and then also the olive green, which I'm really, really happy to see the new museum in olive green, and it's just a great color. So here are some basic bricks that are a little bit more fun. I use these large bins to store a lot of my bricks. I really love these sand blue, as well as these modified light bluish gray ones with a little bit of the groove. They're really fun to add some detail. And then of course, dark orange. And so like I said though, I have these big art bins and I get them at the Container Store. They're not super cheap, but honestly, they're big enough to hold all these bricks and they work really well. Now this is one of my bigger bins and also probably my favorite one when it comes to actual bricks. As you can see, I've got light Nougat regular bricks as well as these new Masonry bricks that I showed off in my last haul. Got a whole bunch of medium Nougat, which are left over from a Pick-a-Brick haul earlier this year. And then of course, sand red. I mean, you can't not love that color. Not cheap, but definitely worth it. So this is one of my absolute favorite brick bins. This is another really large bin I have. This is kind of one that I call my Pick-a-Brick bin because it holds mostly everything from Pick-a-Brick hauls except for these and these. Everything else was found on the Pick-a-Brick wall. And it's nice because it's really deep so that I have extra room down below. And I've got, again, more landscaping. I've got some sand pieces on my white, tiling and things like that. And then just a handful of different things like these little tooth pieces and then these little trans clear radar dishes. So really a nice one, especially when I was working on the beach. It was really helpful to have all this trans clear and trans light blue, as well as some some tan to work on the beach. And here's another fun one. This is my minifigure parts bin. As you guys know, I don't have a lot of minifigures in the city, but I do like having the pieces, and honestly, it's really just fun when you have some friends over and everybody wants to create their own minifigure. It's pretty hard to resist. So that's it for the storage video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you picked up a couple tips. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, I need to get back to work because I have got to do some serious remodeling in the Lego room and cleaning up. So if you want to see what's going to happen next, make sure to hit subscribe. Stay on the lookout for another video, and we'll see you next time.